Hey guys, before we get into the long anticipated story on how the Archer became the Archer Queen, I quickly wanted to apologize for not being able to post recently and for having all the other videos in my story series removed from YouTube. The reason for all that is because Supercell Fondia, which is a company that acts on behalf of Supercell for legal stuff, they submitted about 9 copyright strikes on those story videos for using little bits and pieces of the Clash of Clans commercials, and they had my channel temporarily banned. However, I've been trying to fight these copyright strikes since what I'm doing is not against the law and it actually falls under fair use. Since my videos are very different from the original commercials, I only use little bits and pieces of them, plus I add a voiceover on top of the commercials, and by having my story videos, it does not affect the original commercials market or views. So basically, by watching my video, it's not preventing people from watching the original commercial because they are not similar at all. And if you want to see what real copyright looks like, go ahead and search up Clash of Clans movie, where they just compile all of the commercials together with the animation and soundtrack in it as well. So while we are still trying to get these copyright issues sorted out, we can't use any of the commercials in our videos for now. So I'd like to thank AnimationX Horror for helping create some really cool animations for the story, and if you'd like to see more of his stuff, go ahead and check out his channel. And if you want to see him on this channel again creating more animations for future stories, make sure you drop a like on this video and comment down below. Also, we are currently hosting a $200 giveaway. Just click the first link in the description below and follow the instructions to enter. And anyways, let's get into today's story. Not long after the mighty barbarian king had made his presence known in the village, he shared his story on how he became so big and powerful. The alchemists from the laboratory paid very close attention and wished to replicate this on other troops. So for months they performed tests on almost every single troop within the village. They would take 2 of each troop, feed one a lot of dark elixir, and then the other one just a few sips. Then they attempted to electrocute them to get the same reaction as that had happened with the barbarian king. Sadly, they had no success. Hundreds of innocent troops' lives have been lost in an attempt to create another super troop or hero. But don't get too angry about this, because it's not murder or anything like that. Because after each troop died, they turned into elixir. Then they would take that elixir and go train a troop again. This went on for about 3 months, and during that time the village progressed so much that it was able to upgrade its town hall all the way to Town Hall 9. And shortly after the town hall was finished being upgraded, the alchemists tried an experiment on the archers. There were 2 archers named Ark and Her. They gave Ark a whole bottle of dark elixir, and Her got a small sip. They went through the exact same process of being electrocuted, then both fell to the floor. The alchemists were disappointed in another failure and decided to call it a day, so they locked up the laboratory and left. But what they didn't know was that the archers hadn't died, since they didn't turn into elixir. They simply fainted from the shock. They were each wearing their special friendship bracelets that were made out of gold that they got from the gold mine, and the gold was able to conduct most of the electricity from the shock. So both archers got up and quickly realized that they were locked in a pitch black room inside of the lab. At first they freaked out, but to pass time they took turns telling each other stories about how much fun it would be to create an arena where they could just battle against other kingdoms, just troops versus other troops, and they could call it something like Clash Rumbles or Clash Battles. But before they could figure out a better name for it, the door to the lab bursted open and light shined in on them. The archers were so happy to see daylight again that they ran right past the alchemists into the open. The alchemists were incredibly confused and wondering what just happened. Then they turned around and saw 2 archers, but then they disappeared. And then they were there again. They were sort of flickering as if they were there and then not. Not only were the alchemists shocked, but the archers were too. This was the first time that they were seeing themselves as well. And Ark, the archer that drank more of the dark elixir, was almost 3 times the size of a regular archer. But then one of the alchemists screamed, and everyone else screamed too. Everyone was scared of the archers, but the archers claimed that they weren't ghosts. So the troops were not sure, and they decided to capture the 2 archers and they took them to the king for him to decide. He could either have them killed for being ghosts and possibly being evil, or he could set them free and maybe use their powers for something good. The king couldn't decide on his own, so he decided to put it to a vote. He asked all of the villagers and nearby villages for their opinions, and he said that by the same time next week, he will tally the votes and decide. Hey guys, thanks for checking out the first part of the story, and I genuinely do want to know what should happen to the archers, because that will determine what will happen in the next story. There will be 2 alternate endings to the story, but which one should be next? And also, sorry that I had to split this video into 2 parts. It's just that since I can't use commercials anymore for these videos, at least for right now, it takes almost twice as long to put these videos together, and I also wanted to take this time to mention that we had just started a Patreon page where you can actually see these stories before they actually come out, and also see some sneak peeks of the stories as we are creating them. Also, not to mention, I will be posting the story with the commercials, so it's the usual story that I would normally have if I didn't have all these copyright strikes. And also, for the second part of the Archer Queen story, you will actually be able to see it on Patreon a few days before if you are a patron member. And it's also a really great way of showing your support for this series, since it sometimes takes days to create a single story video, and any donations are extremely appreciated. And also, we also offer some pretty cool rewards for Patreon members, so you can go ahead, check that out in the description below. And of course, these videos will always be free to watch and enjoy, and if you are still a supporter but you aren't able to make a pledge, the best and most appreciated way to show your support is simply by liking the video and letting me know down in the comments below. I appreciate each and every one of my subscribers and supporters, and without you guys, the series would not be possible. So a huge shout out to each and every one of you, and anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.